Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Infinifactory. Let's open this thing. You can open it from like the other side of the room. And didn't I think that we had done the last level of this in the last episode? There's apparently another one down here. I remember specifically opening up this and talking about getting a new block. But we've got one more to do here. It's also called the Big Blowout, which makes me think that it's going to be a big, tough puzzle, because that's essentially what these are. Right, so we've got some blocks coming through on this side, and we'll go have a look around. Anyone to talk to here? No, they're not interested. Oh no, wait, there we go, Nia and Dave. Let's talk to Dave first.
So, just one last thing.
And what's that? Oh, I cut him off. We've learnt this already. Right, so we're sending things back into here this time, so we're assembling... Oh, no, we're assembling on this side still. Right, and then we're sending it through to here. So what have we got? We've got like a shape at the bottom, a single block surrounded by other ones, and that repeats itself at the top, and then 4 blocks in between. That looks relatively simple, but when it comes to actually making something, it's probably not going to be. Usually how it goes down. Also got loads of those guys dead in here again. How very morbid. Let's pop through to this side. Just notice something. That one has 3 of these things pointing into it. Not seen that before. Usually we have 2. Anyway, let's hear what Dave's got to say.
So, just one last
Also got this
thing.
chap up here.
You're gonna blow the place up. I didn't mention that before, but hey, at least you don't have to take everything apart this time, right?
Are we building a bomb?
They're gonna send reinforcements.
We should have enough time, I think.
Oh boy.
It's okay, Dave. The overlords, they're not so quick.
So, some of you have been mentioning... I've got a little bit of an idea here. Some of you have been mentioning that as it gets harder, we might need to adjust the input rate later on. So I'm keeping that in mind, but it might not be immediate. I'm just wondering... the way I'd like to do this is for that to be a little bit higher up. I'm thinking about that first shape that we want to make. Now, I'm just going to throw down some blocks and discuss it a little bit. We could bring them out like this. Can we make a ring shape? We might actually need to do it a bit more like this, using pistons to push the blocks out. So, something along these lines. So, piston there, oh, and here. The thing is, it's going to be done based on detection. So when it detects one here, it's going to push out and put it across here. When that one detects, it'll push it across. Problem is, we want them to rest in these positions, don't we? And by doing it like this, that's not going to happen because we want a block to be where it will be detecting and pushing across. So that will not work, which makes me wonder, do we have to like elevate the blocks and drop them down? How do we actually get them into a ring? Maybe we do it with conveyor belts. Let's pretend the pistons aren't there, or just remove them. We could actually just do it like this. Have it go round in a circle. I think there might be a problem with this as well, though. And then that one, there's that block. When we get the one arriving at the end, we then want to weld them together. I am not sure how to do this. Let's say that. We could have a big group of welding blocks. Now when the items are going through and being pushed around in a circle to create this shape, if we weld them at any point, then they're going to, like, let's say we've got 2 welded together, when it goes across this way, that can't be a block that's left in the middle. So when it comes to assembling them like that, maybe trying to directly put them into that position isn't the way to go. Maybe it's a case of we make something that's free along, like let's go on, get rid of all of that. So we have something that's free along, which there would be 2 welders at the side here. That's going to get pushed forward when the first one's made. So there'll be a space for it here. When the second one is made, they're going to get pushed even further along, at which point we have a detector to then push out 2 blocks from back here onto a different track. And that track will then it will then go over in this direction, and we'll assemble the 2 bits that are free wide with these 2 right here, which might end up being really easy. If we push them off to the side, then we could have 1 free wide bit there, another one here, and if we have a conveyor belt in the middle, when these 2 come through, The first one will get nudged over to this side, the second one will go there, and we'll be left with a gap, right? That's how I think this might be able to work. Although, the thing that moves across the middle is going to hit that conveyor belt, so we might have to work with a little bit of height. This thing, or that thing being higher up. It's all so tricky. Anyway, I will give it some thought. That's going to be our first challenge right there, to make that shape with this thing. And then we would, I guess, make 2 of those as we send them down the production line later on. We'd work with that one to make the whole thing. And I'm very glad that I have just thought about this, because this could have been a little bit ridiculous. We have to do all of that on the other side, not on this side. I'm sure some of you were screaming, and it's just made me realise that we also then have to define our own way of bringing the items through, don't we? There's so much to think about with this game. Let's just throw these down temporarily, and let's see at what rate they come out at, and if they've already got some sort of like predefined pattern. So everything I said is still like sort of valid. Okay, yeah, we're pretty much going to get them as we want them, but we should send them through to the other side in a way that makes it easy for us to work with them. And to be fair, I'm not sure how that's going to work. Alright, so there's our first challenge. Okay, I've created what I think is a pretty reasonable way to send the items across. It does have one flaw, but what I really like is this over here. You can see we've got a welding set up. This is going to get 16 blocks all the way across to this bit over here, and the way that it's done is when the block arrives at the end here, that's going to pull it forward, which separates it from the ones coming in behind. So the distance is 16, therefore 16 blocks get moved across at once. The reason I decided to do this was to actually try and eliminate the amount of blocks that we're using, and it turned out to be a really good method of dividing exactly 16. So welding them together and using space is a really cool way of doing that. So it means that the first 2 items to come out, or at least to go through, are these ones right here. So there goes the first one, and then goes the second, and this thing is being assembled, and when it reaches this bit over here, we have this extend to stop this bit from messing up, and then all of those blocks come through. And here's the flaw: after they go through, these 2, or 4, sorry, go through, and then that one does immediately after as well, which I can't help but feel mess things up a little bit. But this is how it works over on this side. We basically stock up 4 of them, and when the 4th one arrives, they get put onto this track to go into the system this way. So yeah, you can see it running. It's just the way that one gets backed up against the last of it that I'm a little bit concerned about, but we should be able to make that work on the opposite side. So now we're going to go through, and no surprise, all of the blocks are just sort of stuck in there at the moment. Okay, so I'm in the middle of another little puzzle here, and I've just been rearranging the order of these blocks. Originally I think this one was facing that way and that one that way. So what I'm trying to do is create 3 separate paths of the blocks that are going to come out of here. The reason that I changed those though is because this one's going to need to push onto a block that goes this way, and that's not going to be acceptable because it's next to that block. So for that reason, this one needs to go back, that one needs to go forward, and this one off to the side so that we can have a belt right there. Now originally I was trying to send the items to the back here, the first ones. Now I've realised that that's really not too much of an issue. What we'll do at the top here is have a detector for when 2 of them arrive, or something along those lines. I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to do this. So the first 2 arrive, we detect that, which means that we turn off this one right here, so that's going to retract, which leaves this one extended. So the second set of blocks to come through will be 16 in total. So then we'd have a long line like this, 16 blocks, detector, retracts this one, and then the last one goes through. Now 4 items are going to come out of here, so we detect 4, and that's then going to... Actually, it's not going to retract the one at the bottom, or is it? Couldn't that just be there permanently? Like, we wouldn't need to retract it. That's for the last 4. I think that's correct. So I might rearrange the way that we do this to make it a little bit more convenient, although it doesn't look like there's too much flexibility for that. And I think that would in theory work. The only problem is that last block comes through ever so quick, so we need the 4th one to be detected quickly as well. So what I might do is just have them go in a straight line and not use like a backup system like we would over here. And that would be good that we're doing that on the last one, because then they would come straight out and go to wherever they need to go. Whereas the other ones need to wait to hold these open for the other blocks to fall down to the bottom. So that made sense to me. Hopefully that made sense to you. Now I've got to make it work, which is a whole nother game. Okay, I'm sort of in mixed ideas on how to do this, but it is slowly coming together. Let's watch. Yeah, I've been changing bits and bobs, and obviously I've missed something here. I think there needs to be a couple of blocks like that to hold all of that side up. Right, let's try that again. So this thing works pretty well, but not the way I wanted to yet. So then all of these blocks come through. It's going to count all 16. And then push them off to the sides, and yeah, that's kind of as far as I've got so far. So what I've been thinking is that this is a lot of blocks to use, and maybe what we should do is just use a straight conveyor belt and detect at the end of it like this. Now, what I was sort of thinking as well is that when we push them off, we can divide up 4 from the rest of them, so that would create 3 groups of 3, and then these would be the individual blocks that go in between to make a circle, so we could separate them that way. If we have one big conveyor belt, we could still use pistons to push them off, but then I'm thinking as the rest of the blocks go through, it might lock this thing off for long enough that when they stop going through, it's ready to accept them again. The timing there, you know, has to be precise, and it could just work out. But it does mean while all those blocks are moving through, we can hook it up to this thing so it retracts it, or this one here actually, and then the items can come out this way, the next 4. Really not sure if it's going to work or not, but it's worth a try, I guess, isn't it? We could, yeah, we'll do that. I'll see if I can get that idea working. That's about as far as I got. And this thing's still going to be a massive monstrosity, even if we try it that way. Okay, I do not remember what it was I said I was going to do before, but it didn't work. Sort of went back to square one, and this is a design that does work. So we've just got one thing to tweak at the moment. Let's see it in action. So this is going to line up a row of blocks at the bottom, then on top of it, and when it gets to the end, it's not going to activate the pistons, it's going to activate this thing over here. So then these blocks come down. This is where the timing isn't quite right yet. As you can see, that didn't work out. But we're on the right path. We just need some more precise timing at the end here. So I was looking at this and I was thinking, actually, I think the way to arrange all of this is not to rotate it, but to have it go in a straight line. So what we'll probably do is have our, let's see, 1, 2, 3, and then the 4th one will be here. And then we'll have all of the tracks moving the blocks this way. Question is, do we have the room to put in the different blocks? I've got a feeling, oh no, it looks like we might be able to squeeze it in. Okay, so it would be piston, piston, piston. And this would be a detector at the end. Yeah, that would all be correct. So let's put the detector there. And it's the same pipes, like the same wiring or whatever you want to call that stuff. So that, in theory, works just like that. Okay, we may have just fixed it. Oh, wait, what? What has activated something or other there? No, something's wrong. Okay, that was rotated the wrong direction. So let's play. That needs to be connected to something. Let's play. There we go. So this time we might be seeing what is actually going to work. So they go through those blocks, and then we need 4 of those. Oh, the timing still isn't good enough. Okay, I figured out what I've done wrong, and it's the kind of thing I set out not to do wrong, but somehow just didn't notice it. So watch the rate that these items come through. They're getting slowed down by it moving down and then across. So if we go to the other side, you'll see it's almost finished having all of them come through, whereas on this side, still got a fair few more to go. So that means that things get backed up. Now, I was trying to fix this by adding a sort of delay at the back here. So you see how we just... Oh, I pressed the wrong button. We just stalled that other one coming through a little bit there. So let's speed it up. Right, then we stall the rate at that one, so it's a little bit further behind. If we go through to this side, you'll see it looks like we're still unloading the ones before, so they're going to be queuing up, waiting to come through. Now this works as it falls down, as that one removes, but then you see that extra block at the end there goes down as well and just ends up in the wrong place. And I don't think I've got a quick fix for that. I think we can't even, like, when we unload these ones, we have to have it at the height above, which basically means I'm probably going to end up redesigning this entire thing. Yep. Talk about overcomplicating things. Let's just hold down fast forward. Yeah, you know what's going to happen. Bam. We've separated them all because we can put them all onto different tracks and then assemble them how we need to. So I spent a lot of time and the solution was incredibly simple. I am now just wondering though, how much space do we have to work with here? Because the room itself, you know, it provides space over in these areas. This area down here is kind of limited. I'm just wondering if we'll be able to fit it all down here or if we have to sort of bring the items up round onto these ramps. Could get pretty interesting from here on out, but there you go. It's really quite silly, just, you know, trying to compact and overcomplicate things, and maybe that'll put my block score up and things like that, but I'm not too fussed. It also means we can get rid of all of this stuff on the other side as well now. This shouldn't be necessary at all. In fact, some of the other stuff could probably be streamlined a little bit as well, because when we take them off on the other side, we could have them separated, like not in groups like we've done over here, and then reform them into groups, but I think we're going to keep that little bit because wasn't this bit here? Oh no, just that was important. Yeah, I think we're going to keep this because it just makes things a little bit simpler that they're grouped when they get pushed off of here. So it was the 4 things at the back here that got pushed off on these bits, so they'll probably go off like that. Then we've got 16 over here, and then we've got the 2 at the front, which will need to get sent off into this area. So, right, now time to move on to the next bit. No matter how much I learn with this game, it feels like I'm forever just forgetting the thing I just realised. So, you can see I made some changes here. I also made changes to the way that they come through to make it easier to assemble them. So now we get 8. And one of those, and then the other 4 will come last. So now we're going to pause it when they go through. Bam, they get pushed off. So now they get pushed off on different sides, we can assemble it. It all seemed kind of straightforward, you know. These ones would come across to there. These 3 would come across through here over to this side. So that bit right there would be one side, this would be the other. We'd drop in this block into there, that block into here. And then this block would go over the top and into the middle. And then as I was about to test it, I was like, and how do they all get welded together? And that I do not have the answer for, which is, once again, just have to go back to the drawing board. Anyway, this didn't work out. You can see that the timing of that was supposed to be for this one, and it pushed the other one over. I mean, it gets them all in the right position, but we've got to weld them as well. It's just endless trial and error. It really is. So this is what happens if you leave your game running for ages. Yep, I come back to this. Let's stop. Let's reset the whole thing. And I have built the solution for compiling the little groups of 8, or actually 9 together, isn't it? And then I had to move it all forward by a few blocks because over here there is this ramp, which means we can't have this bit in over here. Anyway, all of that got moved forward. They now assemble, and I started working on the next bit, which was to put these 4 blocks on top of the ones below, and I've come up with what is going to do that, and it's this little thing right here. The timing is perfect. They come all the way down, and when one is in this position, the other one is there. So one goes through, that gets pushed off, that gets one on either side, the second one's come through, and then we have them in these 4 positions. I can't remember. I've got a feeling that might activate that, which could be a little bit of a problem. What we want to do, though, is just slap these on like so. So they're going to push them down, and they need to do that when one has arrived at the end. The one that will arrive first will be on this side, so we'll make it this one over here. By the way, you can press the button C and change the type. So now it's a downwards facing sensor, which is actually a different block altogether. If we do that on one of these, you change it to that type, which is pretty cool. So now we've got to hook this up, which is pretty straightforward. So all of that goes together, provided that one there doesn't get activated, which could be a bit of a problem. Let's just say it does. We'll avoid that by turning that into a downwards facing sensor and putting that there, which means that that is not attached, nor is any of this. So a block there and there will attach them. That's great. That machine will now distribute those blocks down below. No, I've made a big mistake. I've got the spacing correct on this side, but not over here. This all needs to go back by 2 blocks. Okay, we're going to do something a little bit experimental here, which is to retract a block in order to, you know, move it into the right position. So up the top here, these blocks will get pushed down below. They will get welded. They will get detected over here, and that will retract the block. Problem is, we've run out of room. That's really going to annoy me. I'm hoping we can find a solution there. We better be able to find a solution. But anyway, let's see this thing in action, because this machine is absolutely crazy. So, down come the blocks. Then they all get pushed off and assembled. The other ones come down the side here. This one gets moved into position for assembly, and it goes all the way across. Now the reason why is because that did not extend, which was not expected. Is it because those blocks are there? Possibly. They should still be attached to what's up above, so it's all good. No, it didn't extend again. Is it because that block is there? Why you no extend? That doesn't make any sense. So most of the time with this game we do something and then it's like, oh yeah, we've done that wrong. But this time I think we got it right. Let's start the thing. Oh, and the first block doesn't do it. Okay, give me a second here. Okay, that's better. This block is extended. It's acting as a lock because we're going to take this thing up. All of that might be obvious, it might not. I love this machine though, it looks amazing. So down comes all of the items. We've seen this all before. Look, it's locked. These are going to get put into position. They're going to be welded and... amazing! Except the pipe is still in the way. I'm not fussed though, we'll be able to make this work. We'll run the pipe over the top, we'll bring this forwards, then the other one, that right there will be sent down, sort of put on top of it and then sent into this thing, and we're done. What a puzzle it's been. Okay, the end is near, for we have made a machine that assembles the parts together in the correct order. Yeah, here they go. So everything goes around. This now comes over here, and it lands on top of this one, which, as you can see, rearranged some things. So yeah, I'm having trouble flying there. Bam, correct, excellent. Let's hold down fast forward. So yes, this bit here was what I was talking about changing. You can see just rearranged where the pipe goes a little bit. It goes up and over, it meets up with the other one at the perfect time. I'm just wondering, can we make this run a little bit faster with the cycle score up? Because this thing could probably take the blocks a little bit faster, and the rest of the contraption might allow for that. So that's a test I want to do to see if we can get our score up. But for now, we're almost there. 3 blocks to go. This thing has no hiccups, it's reliable, it's solid, it's steady. And here it comes, the victory lap! Bam, that has taken so long to solve that one. Oh, here we go. Oh, bit of static at the right time. Okay, so not bad at all actually. We were right in the sort of middle there. Maybe a few blocks we could have saved in places. I'm happy with that. I am now going to quickly play it again and mess around with the input rate and see if we can get a better score at all. And the answer is no. We've got a product error over here. Let's go back, exit to the barracks, because we've done that one now, which is fantastic. And next time we will actually be going on to the production zone and checking out this new block. So that's it from me this one. If you've enjoyed it, leave a like on the video. As always, thank you so much for the support. Hope you're enjoying the series, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.